I grew up in a very loving family. We had a very innocent childhood. My mother had 11 children, which means she was pregnant for 99 months, which is incredible. 11 children, that is incredible. But she had all of us, and we grew up surrounded by people who just loved us, our elder siblings, our friends and families and cousins, uncles. It was just wonderful. But then it wasn't. We thought it was wonderful because we were taught that, and we saw the love with our family and everything. But as we grew old and realized on the political arena what was going on and what had happened before we were born, and what later happened in my country, and how all those were connected with that, that's when everything changed for us. And then looking at seeing people being killed in front of our house, people just being brought, or you see a bunch of them being marched on and wondering what they felt like, it kind of shut down some parts of us. And obviously we were not successful because no one ever is. And this is something that for me, woke me up. It took me almost 20 years to get to this point where I say, you know what, I need to deal with it. And the spirit of my father was a big help in me doing that. The last time I had seen my father, I was 13 years old, and after that, soon after we had left Rwanda, he passed away. But his spirit, his energy always felt like was with us. And it was so much so on this day, on my 31st birthday, when I felt this energy, and all I could say is, man, I need to do something, because it felt so powerful, and it was telling me, remember who you are, remember where you come from, and remember the person that we want you to be, who we hope for you to become. This is what that's the energy I felt. As I looked back and remember what my father had told me, he said, never forget who you are, never forget where you come from. Just seeing the reality versus what I had expected to see when I get to Canada, it became overwhelmingly difficult. You're always going to find it difficult because you're trying to fit in. You don't understand that what you should be doing, what we should have been doing is really just be ourselves and bring our culture with us and be who we were meant to be. Instead, we try to accommodate and take other people's culture. In the process of wanting to do that and wanting to fit in, we lost ourselves. It took so long to get there, but I got there, you know. I wished I could have gotten there at 20. I wished I could have gotten there at 25. I wish I could have gotten there at 28. It took me until my 31st birthday to realize that really what I needed to be is go back to myself and appreciate my culture and appreciate my people and appreciate my individuality, but also as a whole. In order to function well in any society, you have to be yourself. You can't pretend to be someone else, because your soul belongs somewhere. You are a continuation of your ancestors. And so long as you exist in this universe, you're always going to be that continuation of that ancestry. And for you to pretend you're not a part of it, it's just you getting lost and confused. You can't get away from this. Your soul will not let you. The universe will not let you. And this is what I realized. I went back and I took that trip down my memory lane, and I have never looked back. Obviously, I'm looking forward now. And it is important that you can't live in the past, but you have to appreciate your past. You can't go somewhere without knowing where you're coming from. It's just crucial for you to know your past in order to move forward. Otherwise, how do you even know where forward is? How could you ever know where forward is if all you do is keep going forward and never look back to see, what did I do? Did I step on something? You know, did I learn something? What did I do? Who am I? What am I? Why am I? And these are the questions that I finally got answers to knowing who you are, what you are, who you are, and why you are here on this planet, in this universe. You have to approach nature in a natural state of mind. You can't approach nature all GMO'd, you know, where your mind is not able to conceive anything. your mind is programmed and you can't just penetrate through it. You can't approach it like that, because anything anybody says, you're gonna think it's, whoa, what is that? That's some crazy stuff, you know? For me, coming from where I come from and the life that I've lived, I think I'm in a better position to speak on these issues than most people do. Because you see, I was born in Rwanda. I grew up in the hills of Rwanda. And for those of you who don't know, Rwanda was really a beautiful country. It has always been a beautiful country, but then people's mind changed over time for almost a century or so, that up to a point in 1994, we had genocide, where neighbors were killing neighbors, and just people lost their mind and started killing. Almost more than 1 million people died in that event. And I lived through that. I was only 11 years old, turning 12 at the time. I lived through it. I saw the horrors of genocide. To arrive on the other side and look back, which I never really did. But if you are able to look back and see how much you were given just by surviving those horrors, how much opportunity you're given to view the life from a different perspective, it changes life. To look back, to see the things that I had gone through. Because see, I spent almost 20 years ignoring, avoiding, trying not to remember, trying not to see, trying not to even think about the things that we saw in those 100 days. Had I known better, I would have done better, of course, but I believe that I was meant to go through the life experiences that I went through for a reason. So when I went through those 3 months and just digged and did research, I looked at history, I looked at my people, and I looked at just the things that I had avoided to look back at. I relived those experiences again. I needed to do something, you know, and what I did that night was just tears just started dropping, you know. I started feeling this energy that I never heard before, that was telling me, become, be, so who you are. You know, go out and say, I am that I am that I am. Nobody's gonna take me from doing the things that I must do, which is to accomplish the one thing which I came here to do, which is being who you are. Fully and completely, understanding that nature made you. But at the end of the day, you must stay true to nature. I took everything that I had learned as a young boy, the experiences that I went through, of course, in genocide, the life in Nairobi, going to prison at 14 years old just because I didn't have papers. I took everything that I learned on my journeys as a refugee, as I was in Kenya with my 2 brothers. I took all those things. I took the things that I learned when I arrived in the West, in Canada, how I became homeless and how we learned from home to home. All these things, I just combined it all and developed a new character for myself that says, who are you? The understanding of the laws of success in life. Not success in money alone, and not success in spirituality alone, not success in social and political areas alone, fully and holistic understanding. Health-wise, physiological, natural, holistic being. Once you become a whole again, knowing who you are, understanding why you are here, where you are and what time it is, being able to see the world for what it is and not the illusions of what the world had become. Being able to see that is really my point. This is what I think all of us can do. Being able to learn, then teach, being able to teach and then heal, being able to heal and then rebuild the souls that have been damaged by the chaos that we live in today. For my brothers and sisters that have gone through the same experiences that I have in life, survivors of wars, victims of wars, people who are just victims because of the violence and the mistreating of individuals worldwide. My goal is to reach those people and say, you should not be hopeless, because once you have these informations, once you have this understanding, once you have this wisdom, trust me, you will almost just laugh it out, because you realize this is all just to build you up to do this thing, to become you, to become fully, to become complete, and to do the things that you're sent here to do.